Hey, Jeff Moore here. In this video, I'm going to address one of the questions that comes up more often than any other question when I'm working with somebody on a mortgage, and that is, what do the closing costs cover, and why does it jack up my interest rate to this APR thing? What's up with that? Now, there's a simple answer, but let's walk through it step by step. First of all, the interest rate. If you get a $200,000 loan and 4% interest, that is the amount that you're going to pay on that $200,000, period. Okay, that's the percentage on the money that you borrow. Now, what is the APR? The APR is the amount that you pay, the percentage you pay on the money, plus the cost of getting the money to begin with. That's some of your closing costs. Some of your closing costs, not all of them. Because see, it's not the amount that you pay to get the house. For example, getting the house costs that are not in an APR, the appraisal, home inspection fees, notary fees. The government doesn't make the transfer taxes on a property show up on an APR of a number that the government requires we disclose. Interesting that they don't want to jack up the APR when it's their money that we're not reporting on that APR, right? Title fees aren't included, those kind of things, because those are getting the property, not the money. The cost of getting the money is what's included in an APR. Things like points, right? Underwriting fees, processing fees, those lender costs are some doc prep fees, those kind of things are included in the APR. Now, how they affect your interest rate versus APR and how those are packaged, that's what I got the flashcards for. So let's walk through that over the next couple minutes, okay? Number one, I'll use this scenario. We've got a $200,000 loan, okay? $200,000. Pretend there's $4,500 in closing costs, because it could be $5,800, it could be $2,900. I don't know what your particular loan scenario. For my numbers to work, we got $4,500, okay? And say you're given a 4% interest rate. You're happy, have a nice day. If somebody stops there and tries to give you the loan with just that information, they're breaking big law here. They could get their lender license revoked and everything, because when you disclose an interest rate, you must disclose the APR. What is and is not included in that cost of getting the loan, okay? So let me show you here. $200,000 at 4% interest on a 30-year loan. I didn't write 30-year on this, but a 30-year loan would be $954.84 a month. That's an important number. But a 30-year loan at $200,000 for 4%, you're going to pay $954.84 no matter what the APR is. But I said there's $4,500 in closing costs, right? So here's how you get the APR. Add that $200,000 to the $4,500 at 4% interest would be a $976.32 number. 970. Wait, I thought it was 950 something. That's right. That's what I'm telling you. So they take that new payment and the amount that you're actually borrowing. 200 divided by 976.32 would be how much? 4.185 on a 30-year loan. That's the APR. That's how they figure. You're paying 4% on the $200,000, and if you wrote a check for $4,500 in closing costs, they still want to say your APR is 4.185, even though that's not your payment. You see how that works? So $200,000 at 4% interest with $4,500 in closing costs that count toward the APR. You're paying $954.84. That's the 4% interest rate, but your APR. You're paying $954.84, but your APR is 4.185. 4% interest rate on $200,000 is 4.185 when you have $4,500 in closing costs. Now watch this. Remember I said $200,000 at 4% interest is $954.84. You still have the $4,500 to take care of, right? Where can you take care of that? Number one, you can write a check for it, and if you're going to have this loan for a long time, write a check for it. Save up and write a check for it. It's best to do that. If you're not necessarily going to have this for 25 years or 20 years or even 14 years, take a look at maybe financing that into it. See, when you have $200,000 at 4% interest, $954.84, what if you took that $200,000 at 4.25% interest? Well, wait a minute. What happened to my 4%? I'm telling you, at 4.25% interest, the lender can turn around and say, here, wholesale broker, Jeff, thank you for overcharging your customer. Now, I disclose all of this to my clients. Okay, I show them, hey, there's more than one way to take care of this. This is one way to take care of it. If I qualify you at 4%, but we can get 4.25%, and you can still handle that monthly payment. And I'll show you exactly how much the monthly payment is. The wholesale money comes to me with a 0.03, I think it is, on that particular scenario. They'll give me $6,000 with which I can pay your closing costs. You see, your non-recurring closing costs that I can still doesn't change your APR. Your cost of getting that loan still stays the same. But where the money comes from is up to you. With that $200,000 at 4.25%, your monthly payment would be $1,602 per month. Now, wait a minute, Jeff. I thought I was only have to pay $950. Yes, you could either pay this payment and have me pay your closing costs, or write a check to pay all your closing costs yourself and pay this payment. But if you choose to jack up your interest rate, jack up your payment in order to sink all those closing costs into that where the wholesale money can give me $6,000 to work with, I'm going to pay $4,500 of yours right away. And then if I end up with $1,500, I don't get to keep that. I don't even get to give you a check. We pay the lender that extra $1,500 and reduce your principal. It's a principal reduction. So why would you want to add $51 a month? Well, here's one option. That $4,500, if you wrote a check for it and you're going to be there for a long time, fine. But if you only added $51 to your monthly budget, it takes 88 months at $51 to make $4,500. That's almost 7 years. If you're going to own this home for 3 or 4 years, or if you're looking at refinancing in 3 or 4 years, you need to weigh the numbers. Hey, am I going to save a couple grand by just sinking it into the monthly payment and not take 7 years? Or do we have the money right here and we don't even want to carry that on interest? That's the difference between APR and interest rate, and the options that you have, and the reason that we disclose APR, so that we can show you the cost of your loan and the different ways to package it. So if you have the money and you're going to be there for a while, then pay it out, because it nets you more benefit monthly. Or if you want to carry that cost in the cost of the loan, and I'll work with you as far as increasing your interest rate to just where it covers those costs, whatever those costs are, and then pays that so you don't have to pay out of pocket. I disclose that, show you the differences, and then at the end, if you say, hey, Jeff, I'd really like to pay this thing off in 20 years, great. I'll run the numbers and show you what it takes to pay it off in 20 years, or 17. Or if you want to take a 30-year loan and you want to pay it off in 15, but you're not sure if sometimes you won't be able to make that 15-year payment, we can do a 30-year, and I'll show you the numbers it takes to pay it off in half the time and make it easy for you. I hope that helps you a little bit understand some of the costs, closing costs of your loan, and the interest rate and the APR. Be sure and check out my website, jlmoore.com. Go to my blog, jlmoore.com/WP, and see my WordPress blog. And give me a call, 951-254-3303, or drop me an email, jeff@jlmoore.com. I hope to hear from you soon. I'll be happy to help you. Until then, I'll see you out there.